So, what is it that you would say to bringing it back around to breastable? What
Yeah.
would you say to women? Because you are also a voice for women and a voice for
Mm,
what what's possible in our lives and what we'd like to have. What can we be thinking about? What are some of the opportunities? Because you're stepping out there in a way that is often not thought of for women, or you're still
yeah.
in a field where it's predominantly men. And what have you faced? What do you want to say to women on any level to you about using their voice?
Whew, how much time do we have? That's a pretty loaded topic. But I will say the first thing that comes to mind is I want to say to anyone who's interested, turn within,
Mhm.
not listening without, meaning not listening outside, because there's so much noise going on constantly about the way we should think or the way we should feel or what we should consider. And the inner guidance is where it's at,
Mhm.
as far as am concerned. So if I had had that advice, I think just a little stronger and a little earlier on, I think those whole years of going through the pains of puberty and breasts and all that stuff would have been easier, I think,
Mhm.
had I just trusted that inner knowing. And I think more than ever, it's so easy to not hear that because the static noise is so loud in our world.
Mhm.
So if that makes sense, that's what I would pass on. And that's male or female or non-binary or whomever, that's just connecting to the wisdom within you. We call it divine or whatever you want to call it, but
Mhm.
it's like there's a power there that will not lead you astray, that you can find your guidance.
Yeah, yeah. And okay, so I know how I find my guidance, and while you were talking, my guidance is going, yeah, 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 she's saying the right thing. And I literally feel it viscerally in my
Yeah,
physical
yeah.
being. So sometimes I'll be out going, and my being inside is going, yeah, all right, yeah, that was good, that was good. So
Doing the happy dance big time. Yeah.
doing
Or I
the
get
happy
covered in
dance,
chills. That's how
yeah,
I know. I'm like, woo,
yeah,
it's cold in here.
yeah,
Woo. Okay.
right. So which is what I was going to ask you. How do you feel? How do you feel? Because it's a feeling tone for me,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
it's a feeling tone for most people, and they put it off. They don't get that something inside of them is saying yes, or
Right, right,
something
right.
inside of them is saying no, back away, back away.
Turn the other way. Well, here's the thing. I will say that it took me forever to realize that, oh, wait, not everybody experiences it the same way I do. Wait, what? 'Cause I have had that inner knowing and that connection for a really long time. And I just didn't know that's what it was. Now that I look back, I'm like, oh, wow, that's been around for a long time. So for me, it shows up as, like I said, I get chills, like I'm still covered in chills now. Or I was thinking about this morning because there was a really big decision I had to make in regards to the production company. And I'll just go with it. And I can tell if it's that voice right away that's not ego. It took me a long time to really recognize the difference. But now I'm like, oh no, that's my ego for sure talking. Or no, 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 that's it. That's the other one. I mean, I want to listen, but I know, when it is that. So for me, that's how I hear it. But that's not everybody's walk, and I think if we're for people that aren't maybe as quote unquote divinely inspired, let's say, then what's the song on the radio that hits you? What is it that somebody says in passing that all of a sudden you're like, oh, wait, what? Like that conversation of the people in front of you at the grocery store and that you can't help but lean in,
Yeah.
maybe there's something there, there's information there.
Mhm.
So whatever it is that tricks that button, that pulls that instinctual trigger, I guess, listen to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's the same thing. And I can remember too, where when I didn't listen, I had I went to a particular auto body shop, and as
Mm.
I was walking up, I could feel this trepidation. But I
Yeah.
went anyway, and then yeah, stuff ensued, and
All
then I had
right.
to dig myself out of it. And I thought, oh, that's what you were trying to tell me. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll differentiate next time. And it doesn't necessarily mean no. It's not always as clear as, yes, do that. No, don't do that.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's an interpretation of the way they're presenting it is not quite the way you should do it.
Yeah.
You should do it, but not the way they're telling you, you know.
Yes.
Or it could be,
Yeah.
go with those 3 people, but that 4th one over there, no.
Right.
So you
Have
have
your
to,
ear to the ground, yeah, or something.
you have to decipher the messages sometimes, and I think sometimes
Right.
people get confused about that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I would add just one more thing, which took me a while to get to. And then if I do follow the path of harder resistance, let's say, don't beat myself up afterwards, because
Right.
that's all part of the learning. That's all part of the growing. That's all part of the experience. So, it's been said a gazillion times. Would we be here if it weren't for those really hard times? No. Or, maybe we would be, but it's just all for the better.
Mhm.
It's all, yeah.
And with you saying that, what dawned on me is doing the show. I have been working on the show for 18 months, and who I am now is nowhere near who I used to be
Yeah.
18 months ago or 2 years ago. And so who is it you want to be? We talk about using your voice, but sometimes people aren't ready to use their voice. And it could be that sometimes you just need to listen to your own voice inside to the spirit within, and then take action, or actually I prefer saying take inspired action.
Yes.
Don't just go, oh, do that and go do it. It's, oh, that's something I could do. Yeah. Wait until you get a power surge that says, oh, I'm going to go do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so, people, we have this, this idea of using our voice, but what do we want to use our voice for? And do we take the time to figure that out?
Right.
To figure that out beforehand. And sometimes I have, and sometimes I haven't. And it's not one is better than the other. It's just a matter of being able to recognize what you're doing and where you are in that part of your journey.
Yeah.
And I can remember I used to handle logistics for this group that I was working with. And it seemed really strange to me. I was just giving them information, but the feeling I had when I stood in front of them that I seemed to be getting from them was, who the hell you think you are standing in front of us? Da, 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 da. Now it may not have been that case, and it wasn't with everybody. I didn't get that feeling from everybody, but for the group, for a long time, I did. And I thought at one point in time, this is kind of hard to be standing here with that kind of energy coming at you. And there's that moment of, do you continue or not?
Right.
And so for me, I made a conscious decision to continue to do it because I was about growing beyond who I was. And so that moment, there's a moment sometimes in our life that we have to decide, do I want to become more than I am? Or more than I think I am? Or more than I think I'm capable of?
Yeah.
And either keep going, or we have to go, no, I don't think so. And personally, for me, there is no shrinking back.
Yeah.
I kick myself screaming and, sometimes now, like we were talking about earlier, it may be a painful situation, but let that pain go on by and then keep going, doing it in joy, because wherever you are, you're there. And I'd rather be there happily.
Yes.
That doesn't mean I'm happy about the activity, but I'm happy about who I am and who I'm letting myself become.
And I'm also happy because I know that when I get through this on the other side, there's going to be some great opportunities to go, yes, awesome. Look what I did. I'm so proud of myself. May not be fun in the middle.
Yeah. You have to get over that part of it.
Right, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Brian Johnson, and he has